Hey YouTube, it's Magician34, and I've got a really interesting deck for you. It's going to be a lot of fun to play at your local since, high-level tournament play just kind of ended this past weekend with 2011 Nationals or World Championship qualifiers or whatever you want to call it being done. I'm calling this Spinning Gadget, or Spinning Gear. And basically the whole concept of the deck is to control the opponent by taking cards from their field and putting them on top of their deck. It's a very powerful and underestimated form of play, and the way we're going to play it is, as the name implies, with gadgets. And basically the idea is it's a war of attrition, a big war of attrition. So 2 green gadget, 2 red gadget, and of course 2 yellow gadget. So the smaller gadget suite. We're running 3 copies of Machina gear frame. And we're running 3 copies of Machina Fortress. Gets big monsters on the field, he can be hard to deal with, etc, etc, etc. We're also running 1 copy of Machina Force. Of course, we're not summoning him, we're using him as a target for the gear frame to go search out of the deck, because you can just pitch him by himself in order to go get Machina Fortress out of your graveyard. So, basically just a big beat stick. Despite all this searching, we are running 3 copies of Thunder King Ryo. Obviously, play these carefully with your gear frames and your gadgets, but this is one of those cards that just naturally is a lightning rod for destruction, so your opponent is liable to kill him for you, but it's a great first turn play. It helps you maintain control, keep him from synchro summoning on you. Just helps the theme in general, and you don't even have to use your gadgets or gear frames if you can play the support off of this guy. If they don't kill him, odds are good they're not in a good situation anyway. We're also running 2 copies of Spirit Reaper. He's pretty much your only set. We're not running Jujitsu Master because he was just too darn obvious and he didn't really help anything else. But the 2 Reapers are good, and they can deflect the attack when you get rid of their monsters, change them to attack mode, and now you can make their situation twice as bad, because now not only do they have to redraw their old stuff off the top of their deck, but they're losing things out of their hand. And another spin that's unusual for this deck is that we're running 3 copies of Rise of the Storm Monarch. But you have Tribute Fodder a lot more often than you would think, and the basic idea is it's just 1 more spin, and he's a good-sized monster too that you can use to hit stuff. Monster Reborn kind of helps us with the beatdown theme and can get you Tribute Fodder in a pinch. Dark Hole, clean the field, keep their monsters off it. Giant Trunade, obvious enough. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. 1 copy of Limiter Removal. 2 Pot of Avarice. And 3 copies of a much forgotten card, Back to Square One. Basically, if you don't remember what this card does or know what it does, it's just a normal spell. You discard any card from your hand, you pick one of your opponent's monsters, and it goes back to the top of their deck. It's an excellent removal card. It doesn't hit as flexibly as Phoenix Wingwind Blast, the ability to hit any card, but still, more often than not, you'll find it's very good. It gets rid of synchros, it'll get rid of set monsters without you having to worry about them. A lot more powerful than most people appreciate. Solemn Judgment. Royal Oppression, just because we have special summons doesn't mean we have to use them. Because if you can't special summon with that, then they can't special summon, which is worse for them than it is for you. Torrential Tribute, because you don't mind killing your gadgets to kill their bigger monsters. 3 copies of Phoenix Wingwind Blast. Whole idea on this is it's chainable, and it sends any card on their field to the top of their deck. It'd be nice to make them redraw, say, Sanctuary in the Sky. This can also turn off Tengu. It gets rid of synchros. Just 1 more way we can spin. And we're also running 2 copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device. I think the list of uses on this one, you should know it by now, so I'm not going to go into detail, but of course, it gets rid of lots of threats and helps you put the pressure on. The extra deck for this one is truly interesting. You run 2 copies of number 39 Utopia. Utopia is just any 2 4-stars, and obviously that's 2 gadgets, or that could even be like, could be a gadget and a Thunder King if you really had to. He's just a bigger, more solid beat stick, and the attack negation is also very handy in this deck. And he can also power you into Pot of Avarice. Granosaurus, you're unlikely to use him, but just in case, this guy is your Reaper plus anything else you might reborn into it. He can just score you some quick damage. Generally speaking, he's not the best thing, but our extra deck actually has a lot of room because we don't even run any tuners. So That's why Granosaurus makes the cut. We're running one copy of Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. Main reason is you virtually never have to do it more than once. Your opponent will realize you run it and not go... they're not going to drop another Cyber Dragon foolishly or something like that. So you really only need the one. It's enough to threaten your opponent out of what multiple copies would do. And we're going to run one copy of Decisive Armor just because you get 2 4-stars and then Reborn a 2-star. 2-star tuner, that is, to sink for 10. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Mistworm. And remember, the only way you're going to get a tuner is via Monster Reborn, so you're only ever going to sink once. Unless something really crazy happens. Stardust Dragon. Scrap Dragon. Colossal Fighter. More or less, this is just the staples. Black Rose Dragon. We are running Karkuri Shogun Model 00 Bure, basically because he's a 3-star tuner plus any machine. So his ability, coupled with the fact that he's your EV biggest sort of 7-star summon for this deck, yeah, just steal a 3-star like, say, Junk Synchron, sync it with your gadget, and boom. You get this guy, and he can be very threatening. Bryanak, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Gaianite, Force of Earth, he's just a big 6-star beatstick. And last but not least, we're also running Ally of Justice Catastor. And that right there is the deck. And so, until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool videos.